It's 1984, and a 19-year-old black man named Daryl Hunt is arrested in Winston-Salem. He's charged with the rape and murder of a young white woman named Deborah Sykes. It's 1985, and Hunt pleads not guilty. He's 20 years old, he goes to trial, and a jury with just one black juror sentences him to life. He barely escapes the death sentence. It's 1989, and Hunt has been in jail for 4 years. He's 24 years old, and he's finally released on bond when the judge rules that a witness's recanted statements were inadmissible in the trial. Now, Hunt is offered a plea deal for time served. He just has to admit that he's committed the crimes, and he's a free man. But by now, he recognizes that this case is about more than just him. He's been in the criminal justice system long enough to know that it's flawed, so he's faced with a choice. He can cash out now, plead guilty, and go home to his family. Or he can remain steadfast in the truth and do as the Lord requires of him in Micah. Act justly. Living in solidarity with the others who have been falsely accused, he pleads not guilty. He's sentenced to life again, this time by a jury of 12 white jurors, under the testimony of many of the same witnesses. It's 1994, and Hunt has been in jail for 9 years. He's 29 years old, and he finally gets some good news. His DNA isn't found on the scene of the crime. It's 2003, and Hunt has been in jail for 19 years. It took the judicial system 9 years to test his DNA against those in his community, in his state. They find the right man after 9 more years of his incarceration. It takes him 9 years from the time that his DNA is collected to when he's exonerated. He spends 19 years in prison. Now, when he gets out, he gave a short speech outside of the jailhouse, and he publicly forgave everyone for his years in jail. Now, at this point, Hunt had every reason to be angry with the men who relentlessly pursued his sentence. He had every reason to lash out at the mother of Deborah Sykes, who, even after his exoneration, believed that Hunt was his daughter's killer. Instead, Hunt chose to love mercy. Just like King David, he forgave those who pursued him for so many years and extended mercy when he was given a chance to strike back. It's 2006. Hunt has been out of jail for 3 years and he's 41 years old now. He starts a nonprofit foundation to help the falsely accused adjust back to life outside of prison. He spends the next 10 years of his life traveling around the country, speaking to politicians, activists, students, and other falsely accused individuals. He influences policy decisions here in North Carolina. But he doesn't do this to prove that he's a good man. He doesn't do it to foster animosity towards his broken community, or to gain sympathy or pity from his audience. He does it out of genuine love for others who are in jail for crimes that they didn't commit. He walks humbly with his God and with his community. It's 2021, and I'm hearing about this story for the first time from a man named Mark Ramo. He's Daryl Hunt's lawyer. He devoted his career to exonerating Daryl Hunt, spent 19 years trying to get his case heard. And I have to watch the pain in his eyes when he tells me that Daryl Hunt committed suicide in 2016. So how should we respond? The answer is in the first half of Micah 6:8. He has showed you, O man, what is good. Not many people are in a position to make reform in the criminal justice system, although it needs to be made. Judge McKnight was in just such a position. In his last speech, he spoke about what a great privilege it had been for him to address what he called the larger issues in the court. He names sentencing, mercy, and equity. Just like Mr. McKnight told us earlier today, he had an inner sense of justice. The importance of that work can't be overstated, but what are we to do? The Lord has shown us what is good. Hunt had his way of doing it. But the way that you respond depends on your story. The knack is in listening to the voice of the Lord and applying it selfly, just as Hunt did.